Caodaism is a monotheistic religion officially established in the city of Tây Ninh in southern Vietnam in 1926. The full name of the religion is Tai Thao Tam Kentucky Ph. Though Cao Tai, literally the highest lord or highest power, is the utmost deity originating the universe worshipped by the Caodaists. Caodaists often use the term Thc Cao Tai as the abbreviated name for the creator of the universe, whose full title is Cao Tai Tien Ong Tai Botat Ma Hartat. The symbol of the faith is the left eye of God, representing the yang activity of the male creator, which is balanced by the yin activity of Mother Goddess, the Queen Mother of the West, the feminine, nurturing and restorative mother of humanity. Adherents engage in ethical practices such as prayer, veneration of ancestors, non-violence, and vegetarianism with the goal of union with God and freedom from samsara. Estimates of the number of Caodaists in Vietnam vary. Current government figures give 4.4 million for Caodaists affiliated to the Tây Ninh Church, with numbers rising up to 6 million if other branches are added. An additional number of adherents in the tens of thousands, primarily ethnic Vietnamese, live in Northern America, Europe, and Australia. The design of Caodaist temples, shape and coloring, is quite standard around the world and includes the incorporation of sacred images, symbols, and colors. History. From 1921, Govan Q, a district head of the French administration in Cochinchina, was the first disciple to worship and receive messages from Cao Tai. He received a vision of the divine eye, which is now the symbol for Cao Tai as well as the focus for worship on all Cao Tai altars. Adherents maintain that, on Christmas Eve 1925, God identified himself to the first group of Cao Tai mediums, which included Pham Kong Tak, Cao Kien Cu, and Cao Ho I Sang. These three figures were to play an essential role in the growing religion as the Ho Phap, Thueng Phm and Thueng San respectively. On the 7th of October 1926, Le Van Trung, and a leading group of 27 Caodaists, the first disciples of Cao Tai, signed the Declaration of the Founding of the Cao Tai religion, and presented it to the French governor of Cochinchina. The Cao Tai faith brought together a number of once underground sects into a new and vigorous national religion. It was at the same time filled with nationalist spirit and oriented towards universal salvation. Officially called the Great Way of the Third Time of Redemption, it became enormously popular in its first few decades, gathering over 1 million members and converting a fifth to a fourth of the population of Cochinchina by 1940. In the 1930s, the leader criticized the French colonial regime, though he also emphasized dialogue with the French. This stance was controversial and contrasted with the liturgy of dozens of dissident branches of Caodaism that followed a more Taoist model. During the First and Second Indochina Wars, members of Cao Tai were active in political and military struggles against both French colonial forces and South Vietnamese Prime Minister Ngo Thinh Diem. The critique of the communist forces until 1975 was a factor in the repression after the fall of Saigon in 1975, when the incoming communist government prescribed the practice of Caodaism. In 1997, Caodaism was granted legal recognition and free practice once again. Religious mission. The Cao Tai religion's official name is Tai Thao Tam Kentucky Ph. Though translated directly, it means the Third Great Universal Religious Amnesty. According to Cao Tai's dogma, this third period will be of intense religious activity which will unite God and humanity in ways not yet imagined. Cao Tai also states that the Third Amnesty will establish a new great faith for the salvation of living beings before the universal destruction. The primary objective of the Third Amnesty is the unity of all religions, which will bring mankind together in a universal family for universal peace. Throughout human history, according to these beliefs, God the Father has revealed His truth many times through the mouths of many prophets, but these messages were always either ignored or forgotten due to humanity's susceptibility to secular desires. Adherents believe that the age has now come when God speaks to humanity directly. In the 19th century, Spiritism reawoke the religious life of Europe. The likes of Madame Blavatsky, Allan Kardec and Victor Hugo championed new religious possibilities. In Vietnam, the age-old traditions of Asian divination and mediumship began to mix with the new traditions of European Spiritism. To highlight this objective of unity, there is a representation of the divine covenant of the Third Amnesty inside every Caodai temple. This covenant between heaven and earth is written and presented to humanity by the venerable saints Victor Hugo, Sun Yat-sen and Trang Trinh Nguyen Binh Kiem. The mission is said to guide humanity into the way of the Third Amnesty. The covenant is written in French, Dieu et humanité amour et justice, and in Chinese, Tian Shang Tian Chiabo I Gong Ping. This translates into English as God and humanity, love and justice. Theology and Theosophy. God Caodai refers to God the Father, Caodai Tien Ong Tai Botat Ma Hatat, as God's full title, indicates a combination of the three main religions, Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism. Caodai literally means high tower, palace, that is, the place where God reigns over the universe. These words represent Confucianism. Tianong is the lowest rank in Taoism. Tai Botat Mahatat is the lowest rank in Buddhism, namely Bodhisattva. Together, they represent not only the unification of the three main religions but also the humility of God, who presents Himself as the lowest rank, our divinity. Cosmology. Caodaists accept the idea of Yin and Yang duality constituting the harmonious balance of the universe. Before the creation of the universe there was the Tao, the infinite, nameless, formless, unchanging, eternal source. The negative and positive principles of the universe are the components of the eternal nature. There are two main gods, the Caodai and the Deuterichim Mu or Thc Fat Mu. They represent respectively the Yang and Yin forces. Caodai is viewed as the heart of the universe, the common father of all beings. He imparts part of him into each living being, including even rocks, in the form of conscience. Thc Fat Mu is venerated as the mother of the universe, responsible for giving visible forms, consciousness and emotions to all life. Ultimately, she has to follow the orders of Thc Caodai, who is revered as the supreme being of both heaven and earth. All other divine beings are to obey the orders of these two creators during the course of evolution of the universe. Each of them carries a specific role as designated by the father and mother. Any being who falls out against them is considered devils in nature. These devils are led by the most powerful being, named Kim Kwang S. In terms of the cosmos, faithful Caodaists believe there are heaven and hell, which are the main destinations for souls after death. Heaven consists of 36 planes and many heavenly realms upon each of them, e.g., the realm of saints, the realm of the Holy Mother, the realm of the perfect beings, the divine court realm, the paradise of extreme joy, nirvana, etc. Meanwhile, hell has 10 key realms to carry out punishments in accordance with sins of souls. In order to go to heaven, souls are required to cultivate the virtues and/or devote themselves to spiritual causes. Without merit from the latter, they cannot escape the cycle of birth and death, but can improve the virtues and merit gradually to reach better places in the universe, including the 72 planets, the 3,000 worlds, the 4 great cosmic regions, and the 36 heavenly planes. True liberation can only be attained when souls reach nirvana, i.e., the realm of divine beings with the most virtues, merits, and wisdom. Threefold Revelation. The Father of the universe, Caodai, is believed to have communed with men since the beginning of times, revealing his will. According to Caodai doctrine, history is divided into 3 times of revelation. In the first 2 periods, there were teachings of Dipankara Buddha, sages, Fukai, Gautama Buddha, Laozi, Confucius and Jesus, who received the will of the highest power, and founded the respective religions to serve and or educate humanity. But due to the frailty of the messengers and the common men, the will of the highest power was misled into corrupted forms. Caodaists also believe that former revelations were culture-bound, being applicable only for certain ethnicities, and primarily intended for specific ages. The third and final form of revelation is disclosed through the teachings of the Caodai faith. 12-fold hierarchy. Caodaists believe that there are various ranks of divine spirits, Thn, Than, Tn, and Fat. Each of these ranks can be further divided in the 3 grades of Thien, Nhan, and Thea, forming a 12-fold hierarchy that reflects the 12-fold earthly hierarchy of the Caodaist Church. Below those ranks are the spirits of matters, plants, animals and humans. All spirits may evolve to attain higher rank based on present deeds. Disembodied spirits fulfill a number of roles. They are benefactors of mankind, messengers and instructors of the truth. Quantum is regarded as the exemplary goddess of the Buddhas, Libak of the immortals, and Quan Vu of the saints. Unknown to most outsiders, Joan of Arc is worshipped in the Caodai pantheon. She guided the faith at its inception and promoted full equality for women. In addition, the Caodai pantheon also has many other well-known figures, including Muhammad, Moses, Louis Pasteur, Shakespeare, Lenin, etc. Victor Hugo is probably the most important European figure to play a role in the Caodai pantheon, since he gave many teachings and also the text of a number of important prayers. He himself practiced Spiritism on the island of Jersey from 1852 to 1855, and predicted that he would become the prophet of a new religion to merge European and Asian mysticism. Reports that Winston Churchill and Charlie Chaplin were also saints are based on an inaccurate 1956 Time magazine article, since both of them were still alive at the time. Fundamental rules and values. The doctrines of the Caodai faith tends not only to reconcile all religious views, but also to adapt itself to all degrees of spiritual evolution. A basic principle of Caodaism is all religions are one. Caodai has been described from 5 different points of view. From a moral point of view, Caodai religion reminds people of their duties towards themselves, the family, the society, and toward humanity. From a philosophical point of view, Caodai religion preaches renunciation of honors, riches and luxury, in other words, deliverance from servitude to materialism in the attainment of full spiritual quietude of soul. For the point of view of worship, Caodai religion prescribes the adoration of God, the veneration of divine beings and the worship of ancestors. From a spiritual point of view, Caodai religion confirms, in harmony with other religions, the existence of the spirits and the soul, the survival beyond the physical body, and their evolution by successive reincarnations, according to the karmic law. From the initiate's point of view, Caodai religion communicates to worthy adherents and reveals teachings that enable them, by a process of spiritual evolution, to reach the ecstasies of happiness. Worship rituals. Believers worship God the Father, Holy Mother and the divine beings with all the heart. They also venerate the great religious prophets of history and honor the ancestors. There are 4 daily ceremonies, that is, at 6 o'clock, midday, 1800 and midnight, either at the temple or in front of the home altar. Monthly rituals take place on midnight of the 1st and 15th days of the lunar month. There is also a special anniversary ceremony once a year for God the Father, the Holy Mother, the 5 founders of the world's major religions, and the founders of the Caodai religion. The rituals differ between places depending on who they pray to. At the Holy See, prayers include incense offering, ceremony opening, prayer to the Jade Emperor, prayer to Dipankara Buddha, prayer to Tai Thuong Lao Quan Tai Shang Lao Jun, prayer to Confucius, one of the 3 jewel offering prayers, and the 5 pledges. At the Holy Mother Temple, prayers include incense offering, ceremony opening, prayer describing the role of the Holy Mother, prayer to express gratitude to the Holy Mother, the 3 jewel offering prayers, and the 5 pledges. There are also differences between monthly rituals and anniversary ones. Ceremonial prescriptions such as actions, dress and music were organized in detail by God the Father. These include ceremonies for initiations, marriages and funerals. Particular attention is paid to death, and it has been revealed to the religion how the soul journeys towards heaven and how on earth co-religionists can pray for souls to help them on the way. Symbols. Caodai temples and religious buildings host a rich array of symbols, all of which are instructed by either God the Father or divine beings. No symbol is redundant, and none is meaningless. They each tells a different story that reveals the beliefs, values, cosmic secrets, prophecies, etc. When combined, they lay out their journey of the Tao throughout the history of mankind and the universe, as well as its way forward. The divine eye. In spirit and in pictorial representation, the eye serves to remind Caodai believers that the God witnesses everything, everywhere, constantly. At the Holy See, there are in total 50 divine eyes of 5 different shapes, each carrying a different meaning related to various spiritual aspects. The one on the globe shows the Supreme Being above the North Star in the Ursa Minor constellation. The one on the facade of the Holy See has 35 rays of light which represent the 3 major religions and 5 main religious doctrines of the world. At the local Caodai temples, the divine eye has 16 rays of light emanating from it. 9 radiate upward representing the 9 levels of heaven, and 7 radiating downward representing the 7 emotions, which believers must control. The religious banner and emblem. In accordance with the religious mission, the 3 colors of Caodai banner represent the 3 main religions of the world. Yellow stands for Buddhism, blue for Taoism, and red for Confucianism. Under the divine eye is the religious emblem which also represents the essence of the 3 religions, the bowl of charity for Buddhist compassion and asceticism, the feathered duster for Taoist purification, the spring and autumn annals for Confucianist virtue and love. Holy Scriptures. There are various Caodai scriptures. Some of those belonging to the Holy See of Tây Ninh are Kinthin Thao Virginia the Thao, Phap Chantri N, Tan Luit, and Con Thueng Ieng Lien Hng Seng. Other sects have additional scriptures, the canonical codes. This scripture sets out the rules and boundaries for different aspects of the religion, from a believer to the Pope, from education to marriage, etc. There are 10 sections in the scripture with the following content: hierarchy of religious dignitaries, initiation and ranks of believers, establishment of a parish, the 5 interdictions, the 4 commandments, education, sanctions, promulgation of laws and regulations, secular rules, the house of meditation, The religious constitution, the Phap Chan Truyen, was delivered to the religion as a series of divine messages. These are the guiding texts of the religion's organization, stipulating the authority, responsibility, limits, as well as religious vestment for each rank in the religion. Organizational structure. The organizational structure of the Caodaist Church has similarities with that of a state. There are similarities between the hierarchy of the Caodaist clergy and that of the Catholic Church. Besides the Pope, the Caodaist hierarchy has cardinals, bishops, priests, and further ranks. Caodaism stresses equality among men and women in society. However, in the spiritual domain, ordained women may not attain the two highest positions, the legislative cardinal and the Pope. The Church claims this is ordered by the highest Lord, who declared that because Zhuang represents male and corresponds to female, yin cannot dominate yang spiritually or else chaos ensues. The religion is governed by two powers, the spiritual and earthly ones. The spiritual power, this is the heavenly council, that is, the spirit and soul of the new religion. The council directs all activities of the universe. The council is the invisible part, made up of the divine beings, and directed by Đức Cao Đài. The divine beings represent different religions of the world, including founders of 5 religions: Shakyamuni, Lao Tzu, Confucius, Jesus Christ, Jiangxia, founders and teachers of Caodaism, who represent the doctrines of Buddhism, Taoism and Confucianism, Guanyin, Li Bai, Guanyu. The earthly power. To avoid dictatorship, God divided the earthly power into 2 bodies, an executive body headed by the Pope, and a legislative body headed by the Phap. The former takes charge of the administration of the religion and its missionary activities, while the latter oversees legislation, jurisdiction and communication with God or divine beings. There is also the charitable body placed under the supervision of the legislative body, and a lay committee of selected professional specialists among worthy followers. The executive body. The Cu Trung I is the executive body of Caodaism, which takes charge of the administration of the religion and missionary activities. Head of Cu Trung I is Giao Tong. The Giao Tong represents God to watch over the preservation of his religion in this world. Whatever his age, he is eldest brother and acts as a guide for the children of God. The spiritual power has decided that this is so. The Giao Tong has the same powers as God to teach virtue to all his disciples. He is concerned with each one of them. He guides each one and takes care to ensure that each one does not transgress the divine laws. He obliges all disciples of God to conform strictly to the prescriptions of the new codes. Since the Giao Tong has full powers to replace God, he must try to transform the life of suffering into an existence marked by happiness. This is the exalted task of the Giao Tong. There are 9 ranks in its hierarchy: 1 Pope, 3 censor cardinals, 3 cardinals, 36 archbishops, 72 bishops, 3,000 priests, student priest, sub-dignitaries, followers. For male dignitaries of the executive body, from the rank of censor cardinal to that of student priest, each echelon is subdivided into 3 branches corresponding to the 3 principal religions. Buddhist branch. These dignitaries are dressed in yellow. Taoist branch. These dignitaries are dressed in azure. Confucianist branch. These dignitaries are dressed in red. Dignitaries of the same echelon, either Confucianist, Taoist or Buddhist, have the same attributes. At the Holy See, there are 3 governing councils: the Popular Council, composed of student priests, sub-dignitaries and representatives of adherents in the ratio of 1 delegate per 500 members. The Popular Council makes plans for the future. The sacerdotal council, composed of priests, bishops, archbishops and principal archbishops. The sacerdotal council examines the plans made by the popular council. The High Council, composed of cardinals, legislative body cardinals and the Pope. All plans made by the popular council and favored by the sacerdotal council are submitted to High Council for approval. In addition, there is also a central administration body chaired by 3 cardinals. Each of them is assisted by 3 principal archbishops to oversee 3 religious ministries. The principal archbishops of the Buddhist branch take care of finances, supply, and public works. The principal archbishops of the Taoist branch take care of education, health, and agriculture. The principal archbishops of the Confucianist branch take care of interior, rights, and justice. The administrative network which functions throughout Vietnam consists of the religious region comprising several provinces, headed by a bishop who is called the regional religious chief, Kam Trn Thao. The religious province comprising several districts, delegations, headed by a priest who is called provincial religious chief, Kam Chau Thao. The religious district comprising several villages, headed by a student priest who is called the religious chief of delegation. The religious village headed by a subdignitary who is called village religious chief. He is assisted by 1 Photrias representing the executive body and 1 Thongas representing the legislative body. The religious village is made up of religious hamlets. The legislative body. This body has the duty of communicating with divine beings, to preserve the religious laws and listen to the complaints of the unhappy. It is headed by the Ho Phap and assisted by the Thueng Phm and Thueng San. Ho Phap is the one who unveils the mystery of the invisible and is the maintainer of the rules and laws of the new religion. He is the one who pronounces judgments on the dignitaries and adepts, elevates the dignity of the fervent through the merit and brings sanctions against those who have committed faults. The Ho Phap holds control over the legislative body power both exoterically and esoterically. He watches over the positive progress of the disciples in the way of God, and guides all evolved souls to Bat Kitai for the union with angels, saints, immortals and Buddhas. Thueng Phm is the representative of the Ho Phap in the formation of virtuous souls of the sacerdotal council. He depends on the Ho Phap in all his missions. In a word, the Thueng Phm helps the Siu Trung Tai to live in an atmosphere of happiness. He reveals the heavenly voice to virtuous souls, and guides them to the divine phase of the Great Spirits, while closing behind them the door of regression. He considers the priestly laws to take up the defense of all office-bearers and adepts. He prevents all perversion of the divine rules, and helps all initiates to attain their aim. He is simultaneously the president of the Hall of Defense and protector of all disciples. The Thueng Phm is leader of the spiritual power. Thueng San has control of all the laws and rules which relate to the worldly life of all adepts to guide them out of the sea of sufferings. He may present a formal complaint before the religious tribunal against all those who impede the faithful as they move along the way of God. He is the president of the Hall of Accusation. 4 zodiacal dignitaries under each of these branches carry the 4 key responsibilities of conservation, renovation, reformation, and legislation. They are further assisted by 12 technical academicians, including Bao Wien Ling Quan, Bao Ting Quan, Bao Ko Quan, Bao Van Phap Quan, Bao Hoc Quan, Bao Wai Quan, Bao Vat Quan, Bao San Quan, Bao Nong Quan, Bao Kong Quan, Bao Tong Quan. Community structure. Any local area having more than 500 believers is authorized to establish a parish with a Thanti HT which is led by the authority of a dignitary. parish. Parishes can be established only with the permission and authority of the Gio Tong Po. Twice a month, the 1st and the 15th day of the lunar calendar, the believers must meet at the Thanti of the local area to attend the ceremony and listen to the teachings. Exception can be made for those with reasonable excuses. The Holy See, 90 kilometers northwest of Saigon in Tây Ninh Province, is the Caodaist Holy See. At the center of the city stands the Great Divine Temple. This temple, like the religion, is a fusion of world influences, as well as being a major center of pilgrimage. The Caodaist Holy See is also one of Vietnam's major tourist attractions.